Prince Edward County, a lesser-known wine region in Ontario, Canada. I've lived in Toronto for 6 years, but before I moved to Canada, I didn't know much about its wine regions. Here in Ontario, we actually have a few. Prince Edward County is the second biggest, and its limestone lakeside terroir makes for a great spot to grow wine, most notably cool climate Chardonnay and Pinot Noir. There's also loads going on in the region in terms of food and cocktail culture. Prince Edward County is around a 2 to 2.5 hour drive away from Toronto, and it is the perfect country conditions for a break away from the city. We drove down to Prince Edward County and then decided to explore the region on our bikes. Our first stop was Redtail Vineyards. This cheeky chappy is Lee Baker, winemaker. You can see he has his face on one of the wines that he's made. He is an absolutely cool, great guy who took us through an extensive wine tasting. Redtail Vineyards make delicious low-intervention wines, and they're actually in the process of expanding right now. They're growing new wine vines down the road and have invested substantially in new equipment, like these ceramic eggs here, and have all kinds of things to make sure that their vines survive the winter. Lee's talking us through what he's got going on in the warehouse there, and it was just a great time to visit and learn from him. It was great. I'd love to go back. The gang at Redtail Vineyards suggested Jamie Kennedy's fries for lunch. It's a little off the beaten track, but is very, very popular. Jamie Kennedy is a celebrity chef here in Canada and specialises now in making delicious poutine at his fry shop. After lunch, we popped by Rosehall Run Vineyards. Rosehall Run is one of the oldest winemakers in Prince Edward County. They've been up and running for 20 years now. Owner Dan Sullivan was one of the first people to purchase a vineyard in Prince Edward County and is quite a pioneer in the area. As well as making the staples of Pinot Noir and Chardonnay, Rosehall Run are actually one of the only wineries in the area to have created a Sauvignon Blanc, although the Defiant Pinot Noir was my favourite. We were staying at the gorgeous Angeline's, a lovely manor hotel in the heart of Prince Edward County. I loved our suite, the Noxon Suite. It was a really great base for us as we travelled around. Our first night dinner was at Flame and Smith, a delicious restaurant just up the road from Angeline's. Flame and Smith is one of the best and fanciest restaurants in Prince Edward County. Their menu is fantastic and their wine list is, of course, pretty extensive. On our second day, we cycled 57 kilometres to 5 different wineries. I brought my bike from the city, Cheryl, but of course you can rent bikes in Prince Edward County. Our first stop on day 2 was Closson Chase Vineyards, where we met the lovely Braden, who took us through a tasting in the gardens. The Grand Cuvée was an absolute delight, but my takeaway information here was that they have 2 different vineyards across the road from each other. Both of them produce wine, often with the same grape varietals, but depending on where the wines are grown across the road, they taste completely different. I love a good terroir lesson. Our second stop of day 2 was actually my favourite. At Grange Winery, they've set up a cocktail van in their grounds called Old Salt. Now, if you're a little bit sick of wine or just want a wine break, you can get yourself a cocktail from Old Salt, and they make genuinely amazing cocktails. I thought that this kind of thing was only served up in Toronto. I didn't imagine to taste great cocktails in Prince Edward County, but they were absolutely legit, and I loved mine here that had mezcal in it. Yum! Oh, that's Johnny. Hey! Also at Old Salt, they were serving hot dogs in the garden, and these were really tasty. I had a vegan one and Johnny had a meat one, and it was really great. There was something for every hot dog lover on the menu. Old Salt is a great little pivot, but Grange Winery does also obviously produce wine, and they have these handy, cute little takeout wine packs if you don't want to drink the wine on the property at the time, which I thought was really novel. On to Winery 3, we met the lovely Jonas at Hinterland. They specialise in sparkling wine. There are 3 different ways of making sparkling wine: the Charmat method, the traditional method, and the ancestral method, and they make them all at Hinterland. If you want to learn more about that, I'm going to leave a link to my friend Erin's channel. She's a sommelier and knows a lot more about it than me. Our fourth winery of the day was Tail Estate, where we met the lovely Alex. Here he is! I really liked their innovative approach to making wine. I tried an orange wine. I also, obviously, of course, tried their Pinot Noir, their Baco Noir, which they're one of the few wineries in the region making Baco Noir, which I thought was cool. Their skin contact Gewürztraminer, making it look pretty orange, was one of our favourites. We really liked that. We also took home a couple bottles of Petnat, which is kind of trending right now in the sparkling wine world. Our fifth and final stop of the day was Carlo Estates, which I think was Johnny's favourites, for many reasons actually. Firstly, we loved this speak-easy wine dungeon kind of vibe inside, which I think often has live music as well as plenty of wine poured. All of the food at Carlo Estates is also vegan, which actually is surprising. I only realised when owner Sherry told me about it. The Patio Reserve Rosé and the Three Witches Dry White Blend were two of our favourites and paired really well with the food. We loved meeting Sax and Sherry. We had dinner at Sand and Pearl, which was really delicious, but my phone battery ran out halfway through, so I didn't get much footage. I do really recommend the Bao though. So yeah, I came to Prince Edward County for the wine, sure, but I absolutely stayed for the animals. There are so many great animals in the region. Firstly, there's an alpaca farm, but most importantly, most wineries have cats. This is Charles from Rosehall Run. Carlo Estate has not one, not two, not three, but 9 different winery cats. We loved them so much. This is my favourite. Her name was Bugaboo. She was so cute. Johnny loved them too. Look at these silly little flops. I love them so much. Winery cats are great for keeping mice and other kind of rodents away from the vineyards, but they're also just so adorable. And yes, we did encounter winery dogs as well, which were a really pleasant part of the trip. Just hanging out there, being a dog of a vineyard. Like, what a life. We had a great time exploring Prince Edward County for all of its delights, some of which were surprising and some of which were very consistent. I love our Ontario wine region so much and I can't wait to return.